When you were cast in Macbeth, what was your process for exploring your character?
Well, I actually already knew the play pretty well, having just come off a different run of Macbeth. So I kind of knew the character quite well already, but I think with Shakespeare in particular, there's just so many clues like within the text of who this character is and what's important to him and where his values lie. So diving into the text is kind of the first port of call and very helpful in these situations.
And what's your favourite way to learn lines?
For me, line learning is just about practice. I have quite a visual memory, so sometimes I write out my lines so I can really like see it. I also sort of try and test myself as early as possible in the line learning process, because I think as soon as my brain is actively searching for the words, it's going to remember them better the next time. So yeah, just practicing, and especially like practicing on stage in the actual situation is super helpful.
And when you have to portray a character, this could be any character in any play, how do you work on making that character real and convincing so that it's not just somebody walking on pretending to be something, you're really making the audience feel a part of it, feeling that that's a real character on stage?
I think there's lots of things. Two in particular come to mind. So one of them is like thinking about how I can make my body that character's body. So like through my whole physicality of like how I hold myself, how I walk, and that's also maybe particular to certain scenes or certain instances, like how does this character physically react. And I think the second thing is really like the reactions. So there'll be moments in the script where I'm not talking at all, but actually what I'm hearing is still going to affect me as a character. And I think that when I'm watching something, I love to see how different characters are reacting. It really shows you more about their character, the sort of subtext and everything. So I like to work on like how I would react to Macbeth saying something or the witches saying something or whatever. I like to think about those things.
And when you've got a rehearsal coming up, how do you prepare ahead of jumping on stage and rehearsing a scene?
So it depends how I'm feeling, I think. Obviously look over my lines. I like to make sure that I've had something to eat, but that I haven't had too much to eat, because there's a fine sort of balance there with like energy levels. And I usually like to make sure my voice is at least a little bit kind of warmed up. Sometimes I just do that by like singing along to something in the car on the way here, just to like feel a bit warmed up. Yeah, and if I'm feeling a bit like I've had a long day or something, I might sort of shake it off before I get on stage to like refresh myself a bit.
Brilliant. I was going to ask, is this your first time performing Shakespeare? But you've already covered that question, so I'll skip that one. And what do you really enjoy about playing Banquo?
I think one of the things I like about playing Banquo is that his character is almost like, it's kind of the audience within the play to a certain extent, because he's not involved in the dirty dealings and all the muddiness that goes on, and he kind of observes a lot of what's happening. He's also a very confident character, which I really like. He's, you know, he's a warrior, and he's good at what he does. And another thing I love about playing Banquo is that I get to be a ghost, which is fun.
Excellent. Okay, and why did you get involved in this production?
I wanted to get more experiences of being on stage and working with different people, working on different characters, doing sort of different roles, and just get as much of that experience as possible. particularly like in the local area where I live. So this was an opportunity to do that. And also I'm like really excited about the touring aspect of going to different theatres and putting on the show in different places and going into schools and stuff. I've not really done that before, so that's really exciting.
Excellent. Thank you very much.
Cool.
One day